Hello and welcome, my name's Ryan, I'm also known as RM2KDev. Today in this video, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more about Japanese. Now, about 3.5 weeks ago, I posted a video saying that I was going to begin learning Japanese kanji. These are the Chinese characters. There's roughly 2,000 of them that need to be learned. So I posted that video about 3 weeks ago, actually just over 3 weeks ago. So it's almost been a month now. I think I'm about 3 days off from my 1 month goal. In that video, I had explained that I was learning Japanese kanji in 3 months' time. Now, that is a very aggressive target. That is roughly 20 kanji per day that need to be memorized and learned. It equates to roughly 80 reviews of flashcards every single day, which works out to be about 20 minutes of study time dedicated directly to Japanese kanji. Now, I'm using this book here. I've brought the resource with me today. This is Heisig's Remembering the Kanji. If you are following along with Japanese or learning at all, I highly recommend this book specifically. I went through and calculated how long would it take me to get through 2,000 kanji in 3 months, and what does that mean as far as number of kanji to learn per day. Well, it works out to be about 20 kanji a day, as I just said. And I went through the book, and then at every 500 kanji, I placed a bookmark. So you can see where I started, which is the little green one here. And then you can see these little bookmarks that flow down the book here. These are the dates at which I should reach every 500th kanji in order. We're currently, I think today is the 22nd of December. That means that tomorrow is my 500th kanji day. So today I am at 460, working my way to 480. And I thought I would go over this book specifically and show you how this process has gone, what it's looked like for me, and how easy it's been to get to 500 kanji. So the first thing I want to say is this book is fantastic. Go ahead and buy this book if you've been thinking about it. If you were like me, I had this book on my bookshelf. I flicked through it. I was like, this is terrible. What is the point of this? This doesn't teach you anything. Just go ahead and set aside 3 months of time, 20 minutes a day, and do it, because it is worth it. It is absolutely worth it. I can't state enough how worth it this book is. Every review that I saw online of people talking about this, they were all telling us, this is a great book. This is how I learnt kanji. This is how I did it in 6 months, how I did it in 12 months, how I did it in 3 months. But when I read through it, I was like, there's no information in here. There's just a word and a story. This doesn't make any sense. And that's because you need to know a little bit more about how to use this book. And there is a section at the beginning which explains how to use it, but of course I kind of just flicked through that and glossed over it, so don't do that. Definitely, if you're learning Japanese kanji, this is the way to go. There is another book which I've also got, which is the Kondansha, I think it's called, Kanji Learner's Course, which teaches you the kanji character, the wording, the kanji character, what it means, and then how you read it in a couple of examples, as well as some vocabulary. But personally, for me, I found that learning the words by themselves and then reading manga or reading, text online, I've been able to pick up the kanji, and then the readings are sort of coming separately. They make a lot more sense that way, and it's just been extremely easy to go through this book. So, with that book out of the way, before I got started, I read 3 books to begin this process. And I didn't mention this in the last video because I just wanted to primarily talk about learning Japanese kanji. The 3 books that I read in order were Gabriel Weiner's, is that his name? Gabriel Weiner? Yeah, Gabriel Weiner's Fluent Forever. This is gold. This book is absolute gold. It is the cheapest quality production I've ever seen in my life. The paper quality is literally transparent. Like, you can see through. I mean, if there's light behind it, you can see through it, which you probably can't really see, but it feels so bad. It's the flimsiest book ever. Like, I got this in the mail when I ordered it, and I was like, oh my god, this was expensive and so crap. But don't judge a book by its cover. If you read this book, you're going to find out a lot of information about learning language. Everything he presented in this book was indispensable, I think that's the right word, was absolutely critical for my progress so far. And I will demonstrate that progress in a moment. But yes, if you are learning language, Fluent Forever by Gabriel Weiner, wonderful book. After I read that, I was a little bit more intrigued about memory techniques and ways to learn information. So I went ahead and read this book here, which is How to Learn Anything in 48 Hours. The title's a little bit misleading because it actually doesn't really explain how to learn anything in 48 hours, but this book goes over a lot of really interesting techniques such as memory palaces, mnemonics, mnemonic devices, encoding and decoding of information specifically. I won't get into too much detail about this, but there's a lot of science in this book, a lot of really useful things that have helped me to reach this point. And again, I'll get into what that point is after, because I think you'll be really impressed when you see how far I've been able to go with these techniques in just 3 months. Sorry, in just 1 month. Not even considering that 3 months is going to be 1,500 kanji, maybe even 2,000. Then the final book that I read was Brain Rules. This is by John Medina. Brain Rules by John Medina. This is a book. This is less of a how-to and more of the science of your brain. This book actually had some really good information in it about how the brain works, about how you learn information, about how you decode and encode. The main points that I pulled out of this book were that exercise and sleep are very important for the way that your brain functions. Obviously, I think as we all know that already. But one thing that I've been applying with this book is before I study, I will exercise for 20 minutes. Now, obviously, I need a little bit of that, but it actually seems to have really helped my ability to comprehend information, as well as combining these techniques with mnemonic devices, memory palaces, and some encoding and decoding tips, as well as the information presented in Heisig's Remembering the Kanji. I've been able to get to this point where I am today. Now, enough waffling on. Those are the 4 books that I read. I'm still reading Heisig's Remembering the Kanji, which is this purple one. Fantastic book. Now, what I wanted to do today was show you some of the stats or the statistics from my learning. So if you have a look at the past month, you can see that I've gone over 460 kanji cards, which is consistent with 20 a day for 29 days or however long it's been at this point. True Retention is a plugin that I've added in, which is basically based on how you answer the question. So you'll see a kanji and you will go through the mnemonic devices, you will bring back the information, the meaning, and then you'll rank yourself. You'll say, do I need to see this again? Was I amazing and I understood it 100% immediately? Was I just okay and it took me a little bit of time and I got it? And depending on what you select, it's going to shift the next time that you see the kanji again. This works on the, I think the guy's name was Ebbinghauser's forgetting curve, which is a curve of memory. It's the timing of information that roughly will be lost over time. So if you say that you see something today, then tomorrow you'll probably have forgotten it. If you revise that thing again tomorrow, then it will take you 2 days until you forget it. It's almost like exponential revisions where the intervals get longer and longer and longer. And that's what you can see here. I'm just showing you this curve here. You can see that today I have roughly 65, 70 cards that I need to review. And as I do those reviews today, I'll be deciding where do they appear in the future? Do they appear 2 days from now? Do they appear 10 days from now or 25 days from now? And that determines the intervals between when these cards appear again. So it's a really, really good technique for learning anything, really. But the main point that I wanted to make this video and explain is that in this last 1 month, I've gone through 500 or 460, 480 today, Japanese kanji with a retention of 96% using these memory techniques. That is absolutely amazing. That puts me on track to say that in 3 months, I will be able to learn 1,500 to 2,000 kanji with 90% retention of that information, which is, 90% of 2,000 is 1,800 kanji, which is well more than you actually need to be able to read and understand anything in Japanese. So, enough waffling on. I thought let's the review. You can see the review time as well down here. It's roughly about 20 minutes or so. Anyway, without waffling on too much, let's get started. So I thought I will show you my process and just show you how this works. So I'm going to start studying now. And immediately what I see here is on the left side, I'm seeing the word for word or say. And on the right side over here, I'm seeing soil glue, soil measure. These are the different meanings that these could possibly have. To measure the soil, right? So I have a mnemonic for this is basically that they had to measure the soil before they built a Buddhist temple. That's how I remember that, and that basically means that this right side of this character, I can't really, I'll try to point on the screen, but I can't do that. This right side of the character means Buddhist temple, and the left side of this character means words. The way I remember that is that there are 4 letters coming out of the mouth, which is an explicit word, beginning with F, ending with K. So that is word. This is Buddhist temple. What is a temple of words? That is a poem. Therefore, this kanji means poem. A poem is a temple of words. So I'm going to rate myself on that. Come down here to the bottom where I can select whether or not I need to see this information again, whether or not it was really hard, whether or not it was really good, or it was really easy. And I'm just going to say that this was good. I wasn't amazing at that. I wasn't super hard at that either. But, you know, I don't need to see it right now or tomorrow. So this kanji, what I'm seeing here at the very top, I am seeing this little line. It looks like a straight line with 2 little dots. I'm seeing flowers or flower. That is what that can represent as a mnemonic device. On the left-hand side, the bottom left, I'm seeing water droplets. These are little water droplets. And over here, I'm seeing the character for each. This is human legs and mouth. And the way that I remember that is that it's very simple that each human has legs and a mouth. Therefore, that represents each. So this character as a whole represents each flower and water droplets. And the story that I think I've created for this is that each flower petal and each water droplet will fall at a different rate. And I believe that this kanji means falling. Fall. There we go. When water falls, it splats and splashes. When a flower petal falls, they float gently in the breeze. To each thing, its own way of falling. And as you can see, that is a story that's comprised of falling, flowers, water, and each, the components that made up this character. So that was a little bit hard, so I'm actually going to say that that was harder. Okay, so moving on to this kanji, I'm seeing an arrow. That is this component up here, which I'm mousing over here, an arrow, and I'm seeing a symbol for stop. Now, I don't have a mnemonic device for remembering these. These are just arrow and stop. I know that just because they are. It's something that I drilled in when I first saw them. But together, this means that I think this is a warrior, this symbol, because a warrior can stop an arrow. A warrior is the only person who can stop an arrow. I think that's what that is. And this one over here on the left is eyes with legs. That could be, I think that's clams or shellfish. So what does a warrior have to do with shellfish or clams? To be honest, I have no idea. I can't remember this one. So if I press the enter button, okay. So this character means levy, which the story for this is a warrior stands guard at a bridge collecting shells as levy for anyone who wants to pass. So I'm visualizing in my mind that there is some sort of warrior. I've got a Hercules type. He's wearing like a little leather skirt. It's kind of lame. I'm not going to use the G word because, you know, political correctness, but it is pretty lame. And he is standing in front of the bridge saying like, stop, give me shellfish, give me shells. Shells are money, currency. So, and that represents the levy or the fee that you'd have to pay to cross that bridge. I'm not going to say again on this because I don't want to see it again. I'm just going to say it was really hard. So that will push it off for 3 days and I'll see it then. This is the symbol for tree or wood. This is the symbol for, it could be sparks, it could be plane. Plane is in the tool that woodcrafters use to, you know, plane the tops of wood. It could be rays, like little rays of sunshine, or even candle. But as I'm saying that, I'm hearing wood and plane. And I remember that there was a mnemonic, a story that I visualized in my mind of a giant holding a big plane, just across all the treetops in a forest, taking off all the tree tops. And I believe that this kanji is treetops. And there you go. This kanji is treetops. A giant plane chopping off the treetops. So I'm going to say that that was good. I picked up on that pretty quickly. Now, this kanji, this is... Okay, now, the first thing that I want to get into before we get into this is that sometimes these mnemonic devices, these stories, can be a little bit edgy. They can be a little bit politically incorrect. They can be a little bit sexist. They could be a little bit offensive. And the reason for that is purely and entirely the more offensive, the more vivid, the more controversial the image, the stronger it sticks in your brain. It doesn't represent anyone's belief in anything at all. You know, when you make these stories, these are not things that a person believes. These are stories that someone has created to enforce a meaning, whether or not it's stereotypical, whether or not it's sexist, whether or not it's inequality or racist. At the end of the day, these are thoughts that remain inside your mind. They're usually not shared with the world. So I just want to preface this with that, because this one is a little bit on the raunchy side. So what I'm seeing in this kanji, and I already know what this is just by seeing it, I'm seeing that this is stagnant. This represents stagnant water, and I see that immediately. I don't even see the story in my mind that I created for this. I see the word stagnant now. And the reason that I'm seeing that is, first of all, on the left side, we have water droplets. So I know that the story that I created for this kanji has something to do with water, stagnant water. On the right-hand side, I'm seeing the kanji for mountain. So that looks like the W, right? That's the kanji for mountain. And I'm seeing the kanji for one, which is a line. So one mountain. One mountain. Or we could think of one mountain as the number one mountain. This mountain is Mount Fuji in Japan. Mount Fuji. So number one mountain in Japan, Mount Fuji. The next thing I'm seeing is a crown. That is this little bit up here, which it just does that. It looks like a crown. This is used in other stories as a crown. I've remembered it as a crown. So there's a number one mountain. There's a crown. Then I'm also seeing a towel. And this towel is being held on to the body as a sash, and I think sash is the crown plus the towel, I think, is the sash. That's where sash came from. So what I'm seeing is water droplets, number one mountain, crown, towel, and sash. And the story for this is something along the lines of a really beautiful, almost naked woman wearing nothing but a crown and a towel, cooking food in front of Mount Fuji. And she decided to use spring water from the mountains in the food, but the food turned out to be really disgusting because the spring water was in fact stagnant. I believe that this is stagnant. Miss Japan is what she's named. So that's just a quick example. I just wanted to show you how this technique works, how 20 minutes a day using these types of memory techniques, books like this, which contain all of the stories that you need to know to remember these things. Now, he has created some of his own stories. To be honest, I found his stories a little bit crappy. They give you an idea of what kind of story you can create yourself. A lot of the beginning content in this book is highly religious. There's a lot of talk about Jesus, a lot of talk about the Bible, which I didn't really care for too much, to be honest. Personal opinion and view, but there's no reason why you can't write your own stories, and the stories in here are a great basis for you to create your own stories. Creating your own stories will lead to better memory forming, as described in these books: Brain Rules, How to Learn Anything in 48 Hours, and Fluent Forever. Now, I will say that if you are interested in doing this technique, following along the same way I am, I will make another update about this technique, about where I'm at in another 3 to 4 weeks, so that you can see how that's looking. I will have links to where you can buy all of these books in the section below. I'm giving them all my glowing praise. These books, reading these, have honestly changed my life. I will have an open what's the word I'm looking for? Openly disclose that I will put these as Amazon affiliate links because I am trying to find ways to monetize the channel. However, my selection of these books and presenting them to you today has absolutely no reflection on the fact that I've put them as Amazon links. So if you do buy them, I will get a little bit off the top to help fund the channel and create more videos. But I honestly feel that these have completely changed my life and how to memorize anything. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and the demonstration of what 1 month of kanji studies looks like. And literally that month is 20 minutes a day of effort. It is absolutely fantastic. Although I will add to that I don't know how to pronounce the words. I don't know what the words are in Japanese, and that's absolutely fine because I haven't got any books on my desk right now. But because when you're reading a book, when you know Japanese grammar, when you've gone through the textbooks and you're reading something and you see the words like the words that you know, like maybe I drank stagnant water, and you don't know the reading for stagnant. You don't know what the actual reading is. The reading is presented to you here, which is todokoru. So that's the reading for stagnant right there. You don't know that reading, but when you're seeing this in context and you see the words like I drank stagnant water, you'll see the kanji for stagnant. You'll be like, I know that's stagnant. You'll see the kanji around it and the words around it like I drank water, and you'll be like, I know that's stagnant. You'll read the Japanese around it. You'll be like, okay, I drank stagnant water, and then there'll be furigana, which is little hiragana characters next to the kanji to tell you what the reading of this word is in context, and then you'll read that instead. And as you do that, you'll start to pick up vocabulary. It'll just flood into your mind. The more you read, the more that you'll understand. The more meanings that you understand of these kanji characters, combined with a solid understanding of grammar, seems to be the simplest way to acquire more vocabulary more frequently, more often, with the minimal amount of effort and almost no stress. All it took was reading a couple of books. So, with that said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please go ahead and leave a like in the section below. That was a big thumbs up for you guys for liking this video. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care, and bye for now.